The little girl stood by the gas station, clutching a small, worn-out teddy bear in her tiny hands. Her hair was messy, her jeans torn, and her eyes, oh, those eyes, were the kind that had seen too much for someone so young. She looked up at the big man in the leather jacket and said softly, "Sir, would you buy my teddy bear? Mommy hasn't eaten in 2 days." The group of bikers, rough and loud just moments earlier, fell completely silent. The rumble of engines faded, replaced by the sound of a little girl's trembling voice, and what happened next would change all of their lives forever. Hey friends, welcome to Kindness Lights, where true stories remind us that one small act of kindness can brighten the darkest days. If this story touches your heart, please subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you, and your kindness helps these stories reach more hearts across the world. Now, let's begin. It was a chilly October afternoon in a small town just outside Nashville. The streets were quiet, the leaves crunching underfoot, and the sky hung gray like it was holding back tears. At a corner gas station, a group of bikers had stopped for gas and coffee. Their leather jackets carried patches with skulls, wings, and flames. They laughed loudly, revved their engines, and looked every bit as tough as their reputation suggested. But not far from them, sitting on the cold concrete near the vending machines, was a woman in her late 20s with her little girl, maybe 6 or 7 years old. The woman had her arms wrapped tightly around herself, staring at the ground, lost in thought. Her daughter, a small figure in an oversized hoodie, clutched an old teddy bear to her chest. She looked hungry, but her face still had that innocent spark of hope that only a child could carry. One of the bikers, a tall man with a gray beard named Jack, noticed her. He was the leader of the group, people called him Grizzly. He'd seen a lot in his 52 years of life, broken homes, broken hearts, and more than a few bad decisions. But something about the little girl caught his attention. She stood up, walked over to him, and said in a voice barely above a whisper, "Excuse me, sir, would you buy my teddy bear? Mommy hasn't eaten in 2 days." Jack froze. He looked down at her, then at the bear. It was missing an eye and had a patch sewn on its tummy. "Sweetheart," he said gently, "why are you selling your teddy bear?" The girl looked up with tears welling in her eyes. "Because Mommy says it's the only thing we can sell. She doesn't want to beg." Jack turned to the woman sitting nearby. She was crying silently now, wiping her face with her sleeve. He walked over and asked if everything was okay. The woman hesitated, then whispered, "We lost our home 3 weeks ago. My husband left us. I've been trying to find work, but no one's hiring. We've been staying in our car until it broke down. I don't want to ask for help, but I don't know what else to do." The bikers, who moments ago were joking and teasing each other, had all gone quiet. One of them, a big guy named Luke, removed his sunglasses and muttered, "Man, this ain't right." Jack knelt beside the little girl and said, "Sweetheart, you keep your teddy bear. That's yours forever. Let's figure something else out." He turned to his crew. "Guys, let's take care of this." They nodded without a word. Within minutes, they had gathered around the woman and her daughter. One biker went inside the gas station and came out with bags of food, sandwiches, milk, fruit, snacks, whatever he could grab. Another called a local mechanic he knew to check out the woman's broken-down car. Jack sat down on the curb beside her. "Ma'am," he said softly, "you don't owe us anything. Just let us help." Tears streamed down her face as she whispered, "Why? You don't even know us." Jack smiled faintly. "Because someone once helped me when I didn't deserve it. That's how we keep the light going." Over the next few hours, the bikers did more than just feed her. They got her car towed, paid for a cheap motel room for a few nights, and even contacted a local church that ran a small job placement program. By evening, the woman's face had changed, from one of despair to disbelief, and finally, to hope. Her daughter clung to her teddy bear and offered it again to Jack. "Sir," she said, "you can have him anyway. You're nice. He brings good luck." Jack chuckled and patted her head. "Tell you what, kiddo. You keep him for both of us. And every time you hug him, remember that you're not alone." A week later, Jack and his crew came back through town. They stopped by the same gas station and saw a familiar car parked nearby, the woman's car. It was running this time, the tires new, the windows washed. The little girl came running out from the store, waving. "Mr. Jack. Mommy got a job," she shouted with pure joy. Her mother followed, smiling wider than anyone had seen her smile before. "It's just at a diner," she said, "but it's a start. You all gave me my life back." Jack looked at his crew, then at the little girl, and said, "You gave us something too, sweetheart. You reminded us what really matters." They hugged goodbye, the engines rumbled back to life, and as the bikers rode away, the sun broke through the clouds. Kindness doesn't always come wrapped in a suit or spoken with fancy words. Sometimes it comes in the form of rough hands, leather jackets, and tattooed hearts. Those bikers didn't just give food or money, they gave back hope. And that little girl, with her tattered teddy bear and pure heart, reminded them, and all of us, that no act of kindness is ever too small. A sandwich, a motel room, a few kind words, they can be the bridge between despair and a new beginning. So the next time you see someone struggling, don't look away. You never know how much difference a small gesture can make. Sometimes, all it takes is stopping long enough to listen, to care, to see them. Because kindness, it's the one thing that multiplies when you give it away. Thank you for watching this story on Kindness Lights. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a little hope today. Remember, your kindness could be the light someone's waiting for.